Just a quickie. I just wanted to say, all the people that have been protesting in London, let's just suppose, on average, they've paid £10 to get there. And I'm being really conservative now because even my train ticket would have been £15. But let's just, for argument's sake, said £10. And we know at times at least 1 million people have been there. That was £10 million, which we gave to the government, to the trains. Yeah. Hello. So they're laughing. And most of them are on a Saturday and the Parliament aren't even there. My theory is, if those 1 million people put £10 into a joint membership club, why don't we use that money to insure ourselves instead of using their road insurance, yeah? That we set up a thing. And again, how many of us actually have accidents each year? Hardly any at all. It could bring down the cost of insurance for each and every one of us. And there's a main kitty there that can be used to pay for any accidents, etc., etc. And I know in Germany, you don't insure your vehicle, you insure yourself. And so you can actually drive any vehicle. There's another thing. How many of us don't use our vehicles for half the time? You know, I mean, during the summer, I might use my van much more than I would any other time of the year. But the point is, there's other times when it's sitting around. So then why shouldn't somebody else use it? And if you're covered by the fact, you know, if anything happens to that you're insured, there you go. We could be sharing alike, especially if you're in community. You know, if a community has a van, a couple of motorbikes, a couple of cars, that's all you need. Whereas if you take those 20 people and take them out of a community, they've all got a vehicle each. It's absolutely insanity. Look at Bank of Dave. He fought and fought and fought. And yes, he had to find £12 million to be able to do. And he's still not actually a bank, but he's there to loan people, to help them to get vehicles, to help them to get all sorts of things. And again, those 1 million people, if we all put £10 in, that's £10 million. If we were all prepared to put in £10 a month, that's 10 million a month for 12 months of the year. That's a huge amount. And then, like Richard Vobes is saying, and like the Woodlander man, buy land, buy land, buy land, buy land before they've bought it all. And another thing, I'm very interested in buying land that is next to a canal that is frequently flooded. Because if we went in with a digger and actually make that entire field flood out, make it much deeper, so it's like a pond going onto the canal, those people who have boats, who can't afford to have a mooring, could moor there. Yeah, you could have those up and down the country. Up and down the country. And nobody wants to buy land that floods, do they? No, they don't want to buy land that floods. Another thing, why aren't we buying really big areas that flood and actually having our own islands there? Joining boats together, floating pallets. You can grow food. There's an incredible man in Hawaii who built himself an entire island and was managed to grow all his own food on it. It's not impossible. But I just see that there's just being so much wasted money. And I know everyone wants to go to London because they want to join up and meet people and socialise and all the rest of it. But actually that money could be really going to an amazing cause. You know, I mean, maybe 10 or 15 or 20 other different things could be set up in this manner. And I'm quite prepared to pay £10 a month. Yeah, as broke as I am, £10 a month I would happily part to something like that I'm a part of. Yeah, that is working for the people of this country. Because we have to take the power back. We have to go and live how we want to live. And I'm fed up with living in a square concrete building. I want to build cob houses and hemp houses and domes and all sorts of things and benders and all sorts of things. You know, I just feel I'm wasting my life here in a really provincial town, going insane because there's so few people who even get me. I've been thought of to be mad and mental my entire life. And I'm so not. I'm one of the most sensible people you'll meet. For the last 2 years, I've been eating local venison, caught and killed by an absolutely lovely man. So I know it didn't go through torture. It didn't go through a slaughterhouse. It's eaten grass all its life, and it's been wild and it's been free just as it should. The same as I don't want to eat a chicken that's been locked in a shed. I want to eat a chicken that's had a life, that's been happy, that's had friends, that's been in its community itself. And who's to say us eating meat and eating animal isn't raising up their vibration so that they can go to the next level? Yeah, if you love your animals and care for your animals, there's nothing more wonderful. And you know this with fruit and vegetables. If you've grown your own fruit and vegetables, they taste like nothing else in the world. And we've all succumbed. And then you look at all the council properties up and down the country that have huge gardens, and some of them have the most enormous gardens, and people aren't utilising them. You could have a cow on there, you could have a couple of sheep on there, you could have a couple of pigs on there. Everybody joined in the community. If we care about where we are, small is beautiful. How you change the world is making outside of where you live as beautiful as you can. By picking up the rubbish, go and find your local spring. That where we went wrong is when they put our bathrooms, our loos indoors, and we started shitting in our homes. That's where it all went wrong. That's when the system really took over, the system. Yeah, if you're responsible for your shit. I mean, look the state of the world at the moment. It's completely messed up because even dogs aren't even allowed to poo now. This is absolute insanity. Cows, the ground, Mother Earth lives off shit. Human, animal, all sorts of poo. Yeah? And no, we're flushing it. And then where does it end up? In the bloody sea. And it's killing all the marine life. And it's disgusting on our beaches because we won't take responsibility. All you need is some blooming sawdust or some soil and poo into that. Compost loos don't smell. Oh, they only do if you mix them with the urine. It's quite easy to make a separator. Do that yourself with a plastic bottle. This is absolutely ludicrous. And what do dogs do? They pee everywhere. What they're doing, they're marking their territory. Another thing that we should be doing. Yeah? Save your wee and put it round the perimeter of where you live. And I'm telling you now, those people, they can sense it on a frequency. They'll keep away from you. You're saying keep out. Do not trespass. Yeah? It's, the old ways are the true ways. The more you get into nature, the more you remember what those ways are. You instinctively know what to eat and what to pick. We're not even eating things that are seasonal. Half the vegetables that you buy in a supermarket and half the vegetables that are even grown everywhere aren't even indigenous to the place that you live. We know what's natural in England, chestnut trees and walnut trees and things like this, blackberries, damsons, rowan, all of these things are natural to the United Kingdom. And in other places, there are other trees and fruits and stuff that are natural to them. And that's what you should be eating, seasonal. And when you start fasting, when you start getting rid of your parasites, and when you start cleansing yourself, you realise that you need very, very, very little food to sustain yourself. Another great big lie that we've been told is that we need 3 meals a day. We don't need 3 meals a day. Absolutely ludicrous. Yeah? And the workers in the old days, peasants, whoever, what did they do? They had their big main meal at noon. Yeah? And something in the morning to set them off, and then they'd work hard, and then you'd eat a big lunch at lunchtime, and you'd have something simple in the evening, and you'd go to bed when it was dark. That's how it operated. And in the old days, we always had a fire going. You never put the fire out, so we were safe from predators. And I mean that on a spiritual and physical level. That's what we did. Yeah, we had spires on our roofs, weather vanes protecting us the metal. We had signage up. Trespassers will be prosecuted. You told them. Beware of the dog. Are you not getting it? Yeah, these signs are to keep those that you want out. Yeah? We had moats round our buildings. We had walls round to protect those on the inside of that from predators outside. And sadly, in this world at the moment, there's so many predators, it's unbelievable. So yes, let's really, really think about all of these things of how, and you need so little. I mean, if you're living in a tent, and I know most people wouldn't want to live in a tent, but that's one of my, I absolutely love a tent. I love the sound of a tent. I lived in a tent for a year in Norfolk, and I've never been happier in my life. I had a little compost loo, had all my animals around me, I had a lovely horse that used to come and visit me regularly. My cat loved it, my dogs loved it. It was fantastic. You could hear the rain, you could feel every change. You became so sensitive to what was going on around you. And if you are growing food, for goodness sake, try and get it underneath something because you don't want it polluted. That's half the thing. And also when you grow any seed of any kind, you put it in your mouth, slightly bite it, let it be impregnated with your DNA, and its chemical, inside the chemicals change to be precisely what you need. There was a lovely woman, I've forgotten her name, I think she was Russian or German or something, who wrote this book about saying that outside your back door, watch what grows. And, you know, we have all this bloody weed killer trying to kill dandelions and all the things that are needed for the bees. And that's another thing, we all need to be keeping bees. We need to get those back. Yeah? And you know, not trying to kill all the snails and that and everything, you know, that's there, and the worms. My garden's full of worms. Full of lovely worms. They're all very, very happy. And another thing about snails is there's certain ducks that you can get that only eat snails. So there you go. You've got your protection and you've got your eggs. Why aren't more of us keeping pheasants? Yeah? Do you know how many deer are out there? Millions and millions. Everywhere I go, I've got the most incredible dog. And within 5 minutes, I can just tell by how she's behaving if there's a deer nearby. And it doesn't matter where I am, there's deer everywhere. There's enough food in this country for everyone to survive, and it's wholesome. Look at what the elite eat. Look at what Charlie Boy eats. Yeah? All organic and wild. Wild salmon, not that muck that's been dyed and is in the shopping market that's ridiculously expensive and poisonous. Wild salmon, trout, just name it, but wild fish. They eat venison, they eat wild boar, and they eat pheasant. And what has he just signed with the that we, the peasants, should all eat fake food? How dare he? How bloody dare he? I used to quite admire him, the fact that he was homeopathic and quite anti the establishment and all the rest of it and organic. But actually, no. That's only for him. Because he cares about him and his own, not about us. So come on, guys, let's get together and really sort this out, because we could be absolutely laughing. Do we need money? No. Because if somebody's got eggs and if somebody's got some pigs, you just swap. Yeah? I want to see money to become tokens of appreciation. And with that amount of people, you really think about it in communities, you could make your own money. Yeah? You could make it with your own designs, with metals or with crystals or with gems or whatever you like, or plastic or whatever, and have it as a company, you know, that this is worth £1 or this is worth £10, and then put the value on things that you want to exchange. And if you don't have anything that you can barter and exchange, then you exchange these notes and coins. Tokens of appreciation. What goes around comes around. And we've always known the more you give, the more you get. That's how it works. That's how it works. And then we forget how talented we are. We're all so talented. Some of us are really good at massage, some are good at baking, some people are fantastic with woodwork. You know, we all have these abilities. And again, this is so sad. Why are children not learning this? Why aren't little boys and girls out chopping wood? When you're frustrated, there's nothing better than chopping a load of wood. Makes you feel great. It instills hard work. I mean, there's nothing better than if you've been out in the garden all day and you've been toiling and you've worked really, really hard, and you come in and you have a little bit of supper to eat, and then a couple of hours later, maybe you have a bath, you go to bed and you sleep so well. You're exhausted. And when you become physically exhausted by the things that you love to do, life is so worth living. You can't wait to get up in the morning. How many people in the world are getting up every day to go and do a job that they absolutely hate for money to pay for these ridiculous things that we all think we need? I mean, even look at washing machines. So I live in a road and there's about 210 houses roughly. And that's just on the main road. That's without, not all the little diddly bits off of my road. So my main road, there's 210 houses. So there's about 150 cars along this road. Yeah, what a waste. On top of that, everyone's got a washing machine. Everybody's got a cooker. How many of those people are lonely people on their own that actually can't afford anything anyway? Yeah? So wouldn't it be nice if maybe 10, 15 women down this road all cooked wonderful meals and distributed them to the old people and to those people that can't afford to do that? Yeah? Washing machines. So there's 210 washing machines in my street. Why isn't there a local laundrette? That's where you used to meet people. It used to be quite fun. You know, you go down the laundrette once a week. And again, I know people that wear their clothes for 5 seconds and they stick them in the wash because it's become so inanely easy. And then we're polluting the bloody water. It's absolutely crazy. And there is abundances of water everywhere, and collect your rainwater. Yes, there's springs and wells all across the country, and you don't even know where they are. There's been one on my doorstep, and I didn't find out where it was. I used to drive miles to go and get spring water, and I have one really locally. Well, we recently had our water cut off for a week down this road, and they were issuing awful bottled water. God knows where that came from, and it probably was a tap. It was absolutely disgusting. I wouldn't have drunk it anyway. But what I'm saying is, it's all under our noses, and we've just been having the blinkers pulled over our eyes for so long that we don't know how to get anything. If you don't know how to start a fire, how to get your food, yeah, whatever that is, whether you go and catch a rabbit or eggs or whatever, if you don't know how to get food, light a fire, collect rainwater, or know where you can get clean water and have a shelter over your head, then you know nothing. You know nothing. We've become so dependent on the state for everything, for absolutely bloody everything. And it's got to stop. Yeah, none of us need this, tons and tons of money to survive. We live so frugally, it's unbelievable. And in the day, if one family up the road came home or they'd killed their pig or they'd whatever, it was too much food. And yes, obviously you cure some and you'd smoke some and you'd save that for the winter months. But what would you do? You'd invite everybody else in the community to come and eat with you. That's how you do it. And how often do you need to eat meat? I mean, all these people who are absolutely anti-meat and vegetarian, it's only through the winter months. And what do? You put all those bones in a lovely big pot because you had a fire burning all the time. And as long as you heat it up for 15 minutes every day, it doesn't even need to go in a fridge. And just kept adding to it. And you pick some some seasonal vegetables and you pop that in. And some onions and some garlic and some chili peppers and whatever. And you just keep that stew on the go. Take those wonderful juices out, make soups, add all sorts of other things to it. It's incredible. And venison is so delicious, I can't tell you. And some of the people that I've shared it with have gone, oh, it's very strong. Yeah, because you're just used to putting bloody Bovril and, fake gravy powder all over it to give it any taste, because everything is tasteless. We've lost our sense of taste. We've lost our sense of smell. These are all things that are being taken from us so that we don't know any better. It's absolutely flipping crazy. And it's got to stop. And there are enough of us now to make this happen. We need to really get out there. Got to do it. And I can't wait. I can't wait to get out of this stinking, crazy, stupid system beyond the pale. We won't need banks. We won't need all this craziness. So anyway, that's just my 10 pence worth today. Have a lovely day.